Hey Modern Band, it's Mr. D here, and we're continuing to learn about our guitar. If you haven't watched the parts of the guitar video, you should do that. And if you haven't watched the musical alphabet video, you should make sure to do that as well, because that's going to play into what we're talking about now. So when we're talking about our strings and our frets, there's specific names and numbers that help us find out where we're supposed to be and which one we're talking about when we're talking about a certain note. Our strings all have letter names, and they're part of the musical alphabet. The lowest pitch string, which is closer to the top of your guitar, closer to your face, is E. And as we go up the guitar, we go up in pitch, so we've got the next string is A, and then D, and then G, and then B, and then E. So E, I'll show you closer, E, A, D, G, B, and E. And so it follows more or less a pattern. It breaks it at one spot, but more or less it goes about every fourth note, every fourth letter in the alphabet starting from E. Now, we talked about the musical alphabet goes from A to G and then restarts. So we're going to restart a couple of times as we go through there. As we go from E to A, the pitch goes higher, the notes go up. And as we keep going, the pitch is going to go higher and higher and higher. Now, those are the letters, but when we have numbers for the strings, we refer to the strings starting from here as string number 1. It's the highest pitched string, but it's closest to the floor. And when we count strings, it's almost like floors of a building. So the one closest to the ground is going to be 1, and then the next one is going to be 2, and the next one's going to be 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6. So letters you can think alphabetically start from here and go this way, but numbers start numerically from the bottom and go up. So those are the string names and numbers. Now let's talk about the frets. With frets, we're always going to number from the headstock of the guitar going up. So the first fret here is fret number 1, and then number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And depending on your guitar, you'll have a different number of frets. Some guitars have 20 frets, and some guitars have 22, and some have 18, and it just really depends on what your guitar is. For a lot of the guitars that you're getting from us, we get to the body of the guitar at about the 12th fret, and then we have a few more after that. They're a little bit harder to play because you have to reach around, but you'll be using the first set of 12 or so a little bit more. When we put our finger on the fret, we don't want to put it right in the middle between two frets. We want to put it as close to the body of the guitar as it can get without going over the fret. So if I say your finger should be on 2nd fret, make sure that it ends up as close to the 2nd fret as possible. If you get too far away from the fret, you'll get buzzing. Hear that buzzing? And if you go over the fret, you'll get a different kind of buzz, or even some kind of mute. It's a little bit dull and muted there. But if we get as close to the fret as we can, we push down nice and hard, the note will ring out and it will sound much more clear without any sort of buzzing or muting. So as you're practicing putting your fingers on different frets, remember it's as close to that fret as possible. So if I say 2nd fret, it's as close to the 2nd fret as possible. If I say 3rd fret, it's as close to the 3rd fret as possible without going over the fret. With that in mind, now you can follow instructions as far as which notes to play, which chords to play, and you'll know your fingers will be in the right place.